And one more recognition for the person that's built the biggest Amway business in the last decade, broken more silvers, golds, platinums, founders, platinums and emeralds than any other person in the world of Amway, Australia, New Zealand, while everyone else is sleeping and snoring. Hemant Sahela is driving! Even though there's no financial gain from what we do and the way that we build our business, I just want to say that the squeaky wheel always gets some oil, and I'm glad that you throw some oil this way and spend time helping us and our team and guiding us and everything that you do for the rest of Team On Global. Man, you're anchored in the business, and the vision that you cast will definitely become a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's excited here, man?
Yeah!
Wow, I'm speechless. These moments of recognitions are absolutely heartwarming and very emotional, and somehow it takes you back to your journey. I hope everybody here could witness a rehearsal of what is possible in your business and you moving on to platinums, emeralds and beyond, right? So first of all, let's cheer for brand new platinums, Manish and Daksha. You guys have been one of the biggest servers in Team On Global. You know, for the last many years, if you've seen any kind of technical terms in terms of the flyers and some videos and of promotions and stuff like that, Manish and Daksha have invested their time out of their business, into doing things for the Team On Global and serving them. And I think their flyers stand out. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So let's cheer for them. More than that, I just want to highlight how they volunteer towards Team On Global. But more than that, I've seen this couple, being very naive, very humble, good students, always open to learn from any source available, and being a great unifier in the team. When I look at Deepak and Megha's and Darshan Priya's organization, all the way to Squad Shweta, the teams are there, but there are some people who are unifiers. They bring them together, they pull everybody together, hold them together, and they're one of the class couples, and very creative, has added so much value to the team, so what we expect no less than a massive business. I know Platinum is just a milestone, as you rightly said. Emerald, Diamond, definitely being part of your appliance organization for sure. So congratulations once again. Well done. And of course, one of the brand new platinums, Ajay and Madhu. Hats off to you guys. A great feat, great accomplishment. You both have brought in a lot of, I would say, quality to the organization. Have upped the whole benchmark of what is possible through this opportunity. Have added a lot of credibility, value through your experiences, and I still vividly remember meeting Ajay for the first time, and as a candidate, going through the process, checking the plan out, and then again meeting again Ajay and Madhu again to show the plan. And one thing that stood out was, in spite of, think about it, guys, somebody who's already in senior management level in IT, owns multiple 3, 4, 5 different businesses parallel. It's not about money, right? Okay, was able to see what was possible through this opportunity, and that should speak volumes for those who are in this room, who probably are still trying to see if this is for you or not, or trying to measure whether this can take you where you want to be in life, whatever you want to accomplish through this opportunity. There's a great example right here to witness. Most of us may not even reach that level of where they saw this opportunity, but didn't just see it, but took instant charge. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. As an entrepreneur, you would hate for your clients to say that you're doing this, you're doing that. Rather, you want to go and tell your clients what you're doing. Yes or no? Right? So this is one couple who stood out, where they, in spite of being in Sydney, and of course having local appliances like Harshal Bedi here, and of course other Tushar and Solan and Umang and Jess. But one thing they've done is they've taken charge of their business and their organization. Okay, and that is a reflection of how good a student they have become for them to take charge and then eventually become successful, you know. So you've got a great asset right in Melbourne team, and of course, and no matter how successful they are, if you take a moment to shake hands and talk to them, you'll see how humble and down to earth equally they are, and they pour into anybody and everybody around them. So you've got a great asset in Melbourne, guys. You know, so make the most of it. Hats off to you guys. Let's cheer for Ajay and Madhu. And of course, congratulations to Deepak and Mega, brand new Founders Platinums. I'll have Deepak share, you know, some of the interesting journeys they have gone through. But if I have the permission of Darshan and Priya here, I would like to highlight one thing, that there was a moment, I still remember, I don't know when was it, Darshan? The car we had, how long ago was that? 12 months, 18 months before, or 2 years ago. We had a conversation with Deepak in the car, me, Darshan and him, where I was trying to show that how this business is really valuable, you know, stay in, because he was in two minds of quitting the business.
Wow.
Okay, he's not his hence I'm saying that. No, I have a message here. You know, even though he's been in business for some time, you know, they've been in business for some time, and having that kind of thought, what I'm trying to highlight is that you will have those thoughts coming, what I'm saying. You know, because it's a journey, and sometimes journey at times can be tough. You know, it can be challenging, it can be overwhelming, it might kind of disturb a lot of other things happening around you, and you might feel whether it's the right time, can I do this, not, and so many questions. And thank God, when like for them, when they had that thought process, I mean, when they're going through that thinking, they actually came to us to discuss. You know, they came to us to say, hey, this is what we are feeling, you know. Can you share your experiences, you know? And I'm glad that Darshan got us involved and we had that conversation. I still remember that one conversation, that one car drive. Today, how many lives are impacted, just imagine. You know, not only they've got Founders Platinums, they have driven their first Platinums, and I can see that the growth, what they're having their organization, how many more lives are going to be touched just because they chose to take that decision to stay hanging there. You know, when they didn't have a team and when they didn't have a business. So what I'm trying to highlight is a message, it's a very powerful message that when you go through those moments, hold yourself back, folks. You never know that those one small decision is linked to so many lives, which is not even yet in your business today, but will come tomorrow in your business, right? Again, that's the power of what this operation is all about, right? So if you've gone through that feeling and you've stayed steady, congratulations. You know, but more than anything, very proud of this couple, highly accomplished, great professionals. But you know, in spite of going through that swing, they're coming back stronger. And after that moment, they never stopped. You know, so many messages I've heard from Darshan and Priya about them, their work ethics and their creativity. You know, they are one of those couples who took the team and global prints like Rising Sun, Eagles, and Double Eagle as their platform to actually build their businesses. And they have put some amazing strategies to have a successful, growth and steady growth happening. You know. So definitely you'll see them moving on big time. You're missing them definitely for sure. They're in Brisbane right now serving their appliance team there. Okay, so all I'm trying to highlight is that Melbourne had a great year. 2 Platinums, Founders Platinum, but something didn't happen. An emerald. I'm not taking names, but there are a few people. There you go. Who are claiming to step up and go emerald. How about that? Are we ready for that? Right, so I'm not going to take names, but you'll prove yourself and you'll claim that title very soon in the next 12 months' time. But more than anything, guys, you know what? I'm always excited to come to Melbourne because this is one of the dearest and the closest cities in our hearts. Because believe me or not, we have traveled to this city in those initial days. I mean, I don't know, I've lost my counts 30, 40, 50 times before even found one person. Okay, somebody could stay firm in the gap and believe in what we were doing, and eventually one at a time that this team came in shape. Wow. So sometimes we may have to travel for months and months to the same location and revolving door business where people are coming and quitting because you were not here, you know. And one of the initial couples who stayed back is Jignesh and Mega here. Highlight that because when they stayed back, we had a small home plan, you know, and then a some small other team meeting and smaller meetings of 10 people, 15, 20, eventually, my goodness, no room to stand tonight, right? And that's what I was trying to highlight, that sometimes a decision of yours can make a massive impact in so many people's lives. So that's what you guys, definitely counting on you to stepping up big time and whatnot, right? But anyways, folks, you know what? I can see this room exploding in the next 12 months. Happy New Year to all the entrepreneurs here. It's a beginning of a fantastic year. And me and Smita, I was just telling somebody yesterday, where in Brisbane, to New Emerald Summation, we had a great Emerald celebration on when was it? I'm all lost in days here. Today's Monday, okay. Yeah, on Saturday night. And I was just having a chat with them. I said that me and Smita, we worked harder after we went diamond, even more harder. We sponsored a bunch of new legs, 3 new legs, 2 are exploring right now, focusing on a team of 25 from that group to the FEC. And our calendar is more booked than ever before. And why am I saying this is because we've understood the value of this business after we have gone diamond. Not that we didn't understand it before when we went platinum or emerald, but the bigger you grow, the more you start seeing things far, yes or no? The taller you become, the more far you see. And we can see how beautiful this opportunity, what are the possibilities through this, right? And more importantly, being an example for everybody we work with, because that's what we see in our clients and coaches, right? Ganesh and Rekha, they are great examples to the whole Shana organization and Triple organization globally, right? So if I can give few tips before we wrap up for tonight is, I was just telling next team before when we were having a hangout that most people have, and it's Happy New Year, right? For most of them outside in the world is they take New Year, what do you call it? Resolutions or some important changes or decisions when they're super high, yes or no? and because they take those decisions when they are high and they come back low, they forget everything what they've taken, right? But here when I say Happy New Year, it's literally a new year, you know why? Because we are taking our decisions in full senses, in full consciousness. And we are actually putting a game plan for it, yes or no? You have a coach or a mentor who can guide you, put a whole game plan, a strategy plan, or a growth plan, whatever you want to call it, from where you are to where you want to be in the next 12 months. I hope you take that seriously. Okay, this business is no kidding, folks. It will give you what you will expect out of this. Okay, being in this for over the last 12 plus years, we've seen this growing from 1, 2, 3, 4 people to thousands today, right? And what is different between those who have moved on in the business are people who took each year seriously. Because hey, you know what? Each day counts in that year. Each month, each week, each month counts, right? So if I can suggest, mentally you, as giving an example, that it's good to know where you want to go, but accept your reality as well where you are. Okay, so that's what the coaches do, is give you map out the direction from where you are to where you want to be, right? Something which is realistic, something which stretches you, brings the best out of you. But more than anything, you need to buy into that goal. Okay, giving a strategy or a growth plan is easy. And having that heart-to-heart discussion with your coaches and mentors is easy. However, you buying into it, you believing into it is not in their control, but it's in your control. And what makes a difference is when you believe in it. Because that faith and belief is such a huge, powerful words that it can change everything and anything possible, right? So my encouragement is get that done and believe in what you can become. There could be possibility of very new in this opportunity. You're still going through the phase of exploring, trying to study, understand. That's okay. Get committed to the education part of it. Can we all do that at least? If you're new in this on board, okay? Can you get committed to the education? I was telling somebody in the hangout again that what education does is it changes your internal environment. What is external is a result of internal. Yes or no? Okay, it's like this. When you're very happy, when you're happy and excited, what happens? You walk different. You talk differently. You give happiness to others. You bring a smile on other people's face because you're really happy internally, so you're displaying it externally. Now, when you're upset, when you're I was using a different word. When you're upset and you're cranky or whatever, right? What happens? That reflects outside as well. You tend to be cranky with others, you tend to, talk negative, think negative, and what? So what I'm trying to highlight is what is externally happening as a result of what is internally happening. Okay? So one thing what we believe and what we have done is we constantly focus on making sure our internal environment is absolutely happening, upbeat, positive. It's full of possibilities, and great big dreams and vision and whatnot. And that helps us to externally make those changes, create that environment for others, for ourselves to grow and others to grow. But how is that possible? You have to have some source to actually change that environment inside, and that is where the education system comes to the picture, right? So, and it's just not for new people, it's even for people like us who are diamonds in the business, that we have to constantly educate ourselves, listening to an audio a day, reading every single day, coming to all associations to hang around with successful people, to draw in the energy and the mindset, and the vibes in a room like this, so that we keep our internal environment happening, right? Because if we don't do this and if we don't take conscious effort to do this, the internal environment by default tends to get negative, right? Because negative is automatic, yes or no? Okay, and this business, I've always learned from our coaches, this business is all about a fight between you and you only. Okay, and if we can keep our positives over our negatives, and then keep the internal environment happening, believe me, you'll attract good people towards you. Because in this world, what is lacking is some happy, excited people. You look at anybody's face, it doesn't attract you, yes or no? People are serious, people are stressed out, people are rushing, people have lost their smile. I mean, look at some unknown faces around you, whether it's in a lift, whether it's in a shopping mall, whether it is generally. You know why? Because the stresses of life is happening, right? That's very natural. But they don't have access to an environment which can change that internally, right? Okay? I mean, they may act happy when you come across them and have a conversation, but that's just a face. I mean, it's just an external expression, right? It's not internal. But I've seen IBOs, or I've seen individuals who are in the education system, who are reading, listening, associating, who are going out and sharing their experiences, sharing the business opportunities, talking about the dreams, possibilities. Man, they are pumped up, they're excited, they're happy, yes or no? And that is the environment you belong. And I encourage you to do whatever it takes to stay committed to the core habits. Okay? Because if you're committed to the core habits and your internal environment is positive and happening, you will become a magnetic personality. You'll attract people towards you, your words will have impact, it will have conviction, and whether they understand the plan or not, doesn't matter. They'll understand that, man, I love to be with this guy. I'd love to hang around with this couple. I'd love to be in an association of these kind of people. And that's what makes this business work, actually speaking. There's no logic to it, but that's a fact, right? Okay, so I wish you guys all the best. Okay, stay committed to the core steps. FXC is coming. That's your home game, right? Okay, and exactly, I believe, what, a month now, nearly? A month, a little bit, few more days, more than a month, 30, 25 days. You know what, just be all in, folks. There's no point in being half in, be all in. Okay, first, to begin with, I saw the raise of hands. I didn't need to take pictures, but I knew entrepreneurs have bought their tickets. People who believe in themselves and believe in this opportunity have bought their tickets. And who don't need to be pumped up, I guess. But I hope not, right? Because we are looking for people who are willing to step up on their own. So I hope you're not one of those entrepreneurs in this room where your uplines have to come and give a talk on why this function. It doesn't make any sense. It's like this, why? It's your business. It's your business. If you're hungry to learn so that you can grow and make a difference, why would somebody need to convince you to actually book your ticket for the biggest event of the year, the entrepreneurship convention of the year? Yes or no? Right? It's your opportunity to hang out with the multi-millionaires, listen to their experiences. See Team and Global will rock the stage, guys. 12 platinums, 2 founders platinums, 3 emeralds. Can you imagine? Okay. In Amway of Australia, forget Team and Global, in Amway of Australia, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 70% of the pins are from Team and Global. Biggest part of the year, and you belong to that team. You're connected to that team. You have to be there to be the best cheerleaders for all those folks who have accomplished it, and not because they've accomplished it. There's one reason, but more importantly, for you to visualize yourself that you can be there too, because you belong to the best team, right? And more than anything, it's about spending a weekend worthwhile. I always tell this, 52 weekends. How many of those weekends do we actually spend in an environment of education, hanging out with successful people, dreaming, capturing the vision? How many weekends do we spend like that? Very few, right? Hardly. If you go, of course, summer, winter, and some of the conferences, right? But hey, you know what? If you've never been to a conference, that's a very reason. You know, can you take out one weekend of your life which can change the game? Right? If you're new in the business, less than like 90 days, July onwards you've been launched, man, $100, $110, $120, $30, not a big deal. You know, because sometimes people owe $130. Come on, dude. What is $130? You need to see the value what's offering. Even if it's $200, what is it? No, not a big deal. One party on a weekend, you spend like that, right? $200. A concert or a sports match, you just spend those dollars, yes or no? Right? And so, well, I'm not even trying to convince you why you should be there. It's your business. But all I can tell you is that people who have made those events a stepping stone to actually a springboard, not even stepping down. I'll call these events as a springboard. It allows you to spring forward way ahead and way faster, right? Okay, so take these events as springboards, guys, for your business to grow. So be all in, get your tickets started out so that you can focus next 35 days as an entrepreneur, whom all you can bring along. Don't let your appliance focus on if he will lead them or not. You be the one, man. I've bought my tickets. Okay, let's get to run for next 35 days. You know, you don't want to turn up to get excited there. You'd rather be excited right now and turn up with the team there, so that takes your excitement to the next level, right? Your business to the next level, right? So, in fact, we have thousands of people coming from different parts of the country, Australia and New Zealand. You guys don't have to invest that kind of money in terms of, you know, flights and hotel stay. All you have to do is turn up, right? So I hope and I definitely, you know, look forward to meeting you all again next month at the FEC. You know, probably night owls, you know, any other opportunities given, I would love to shake your hands. But go all in for next 35 days and make this year count, guys. Time is going to fly, whether we do this or not. But you want to make sure that you control your time and make the most of your time, okay? And get some scores on the board, okay? With that, all the best. And let's hear for all the the leadership of Melbourne team for all the excellent. I'm just a guest here. Okay, I came, I shared my experiences, an hour or two, I'm gone. But these are the leaders who are turning up every single week, you know, the game night, there for you so that you can leverage their presence to build your business. They're committed and looking for a few more people who can be as committed as you are. So don't take their time for granted if you're part of, I don't want to start with the names here, but my goodness, the list is, I was taking a picture, you know, so that I can look at the picture and take names. But just quickly, Nirush and Veronica, thank you so much. You know, we have Nadarshan and Priya, and they can ban our space, you know, Deepak and Mega, Harshan and Bernie, I'm lost now. Bridget and Tamalika, Ajay and Maruna, Manish and Daksha, Mani and Suman, thank you guys. But hey, you know what, it's a good situation to be in, right? Okay. So, but congratulations for all the value you guys add and all the upcoming leaders, you know, hats off to you guys, okay? We'll see you at the FEC.
Okay, that's a great night.